Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Speaking Nerd Podcast, the place to talk about like comics, movies, TV, video games, and everything nerdy. So AJ's not here again. We have a lot of time to kill because he's chode watching the Top Gun movie and not hanging out with his friends. Bastard. so today we're going to be talking about what we think are the greatest castings in comic book movies. Now, we love comic book movies. We talk about comic book movies all the fucking time. And every once in a while, you get just the most stellar choice for a particular character. And no matter how many reboots they do and whatnot, how many times they decide to restart, nothing can change the fact that those particular people are the best of the best. And we're going to tell you what we think ours is. So just like with the previous video, we're just going to be doing it 3 at a time, 3 each, just to make things simpler. So since Swfte picked out this idea, I'm going to let him go first on his castings. So go right ahead.
All right. So, in my number 3 place, when I was going through the list, I didn't think that I would put him this high, but his performances always make me want more. We haven't seen him in barely anything, but he was the perfect choice for this character. Unfortunately, we may never see him again, and I think you guys know who I'm alluding to. That is Henry Cavill as Superman. Every time he's played Superman, his performance has been above and beyond. And I think the most important thing is here, he cares about the character and its fans. And he just wants people to be happy with the character. And unfortunately, Zack Snyder's direction of that character is not what I liked. But Henry Cavill as Superman is something that I have no problem with, ever. I want to see more of him. Why can't we storm WB like we did when the Snyder cut was a thing, when that whole protest was going on? I wish we could do that with Henry Cavill. Doesn't look like we'll see him again, but I really hope deep down that we do someday. He is my top. He's in my 3rd spot for my top 3 best castings.
Yeah. Okay, so I really like Henry Cavill. I like the fact that he's actually a fan of Superman and not just phoning it in. You know, like you said, he does really care about this character and the fans. The only thing that bugs me is the material that was given for Henry, which...
Agreed.
He does a good job with it, for sure. He makes the best out of a bad situation, but goddamn, when your bad situation is Batman v Superman... Yikes.
It's some of the worst.
When your bad situation is a Zack Snyder film.
I'm trying, though, with him, I can see how incredible he would be if he was given the best Superman script by a different director.
Yeah.
I can see what he would do.
Yeah, definitely. I think Warner Brothers just kind of getting rid of him is a terrible mistake.
Absolutely.
Probably the biggest mistake they'll ever make. Because who are they going to find that's going to fill his shoes in like such a?
You can get rid of Batfleck. I do not care.
I don't either.
You can go ahead and get rid of Ezra Miller too. That man's assaults everybody.
He Batman Arkham's everyone in Hawaii, bro. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he has like this voice in the back of his head that's like, it's the freaking Bat.
Throws innocent people to the ground. Bam. But I think
Ezra Miller can't leave the house without committing aggravated assault on somebody.
He tries to run, but he can't. But yeah, Henry Cavill, I would love to see him do another Superman movie. Like, he definitely has potential if they, decide to bring him back, which I feel, just removing him completely was a terrible mistake on their part. But
I think they should do Man of Steel 2 in the new DCU. I feel like Henry Cavill, would fit with their projected plans, and I do genuinely just want to see more of him.
Yeah.
Especially with a better script.
Yeah, because like all the elements were there, like all the good elements were there, but it's just like it's just kind of squandered now.
Besides Ray Fisher, I feel like Henry Cavill was the one who got wronged the most when it came to the DCEU.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, yeah, because they literally just acted. They're still acting like he just didn't exist. He was never Superman. They didn't give him that role.
And
Yeah.
he
That's what it
wants
seems
to
like.
come back too, that's the thing.
Yeah. But what about you, Marvel? Are you going next or is it Alter?
I'll let Alter go next. Why not?
Alright, bet. So this character is my personal favorite Marvel character, and I'm so glad that there is an actor who could perfectly portray this character. And I don't think anyone could ever do better. I'm glad that the MCU's not recasting him. If you didn't know who I'm talking about already, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
Yeah.
He is literally the embodiment of
Solid
that character.
pick.
Like I can't imagine anyone else playing Deadpool in live action. I genuinely cannot.
Me neither.
He like Ryan Reynolds, like what else can I say? Like Ryan Reynolds was reading Deadpool comics when he was taking acting classes.
Ryan
His
Reynolds, what
first
more
big
can I
role
say?
in a film was Ryan Reynolds when like his first big acting role was in X-Men Origins as that god awful Deadpool. And I'm so glad that they let him come back in 2016 to become a definitive version of Deadpool. I still think that's one of the best adaptations in comic book movie history was the first Deadpool film. Even the second one did a great job. And I'm glad that the MCU's not getting rid of him. They're not making the same mistake that Warner Brothers did with Henry Cavill. They're actually bringing back this character, this actor, in the way that God intended.
Yeah, I fucking love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Like you said, they're I can't really see anybody else in the role, and if the MCU decided to recast him, that would also be a huge mistake. So I'm glad that they're keeping him around and still giving him.
They've
that
already
creative
confirmed that Ryan Reynolds is coming back.
Oh yeah, no, I know, and but yeah, I'm glad that he's coming back, and he's still given the same kind of creative freedom that he had on the first two films. So that's pretty great. But
First Marvel film to be given the R rating, unless one comes out beforehand.
yeah, that's right. I did say. Yeah, but like even in X-Men Origins Wolverine, like besides the whole Barakapool dumb garbage, like before they turned him into
before
that,
they sewed his mouth shut, he actually was pretty decent.
he was pretty good. Like he was funny. He was quipping, and like he had some really he had a good
hallway
action moment.
Or that elevator scene is probably the best scene from that film.
Yeah, it's one of the best, I would say, out of that whole film. But yeah, no, he's great.
X-Men Origins is just such a terrible film.
Yeah, for me, it's that movie. Like it's kind of a guilty pleasure. Like it's bad, it's really bad. But I don't know. There's stuff that like I can enjoy about it personally. But that's just me.
It's just like I can't enjoy that film. I used to be able to say the same thing that it's like a guilty pleasure, but I've watched it again like a few times recently, and each time I watch it, I just can't sit through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ryan Reynolds is such a fantastic Deadpool.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
But and I always see people saying that Ryan Reynolds plays the same character like in every film. But I do feel like his personality is a lot in line with Deadpool, so it actually fits.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like his whole like he sort of built himself around this character. Like I don't I can't really recall a actor or actress who just straight up just embodies the character as much as Ryan Reynolds embodies Deadpool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like Ryan Reynolds, like his material, but I will say it works best in the context of Deadpool because that's where, like, he can really make it shine with, the jokes and like the fun references and whatnot. Like when I watch Blade
I
Trinity and
swear to
see
God, that
him,
free guy was just a Deadpool script.
when I watched Blade Trinity recently, and he plays a character in that, like the quips were funny, but it didn't feel right. But like when I watch Deadpool, like it feels perfect for him. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's just. I couldn't see anyone. There's a few actors like that, but I definitely can't see anyone else playing that character.
yeah, yeah. I pretty much feel the same way you do. So got really nothing else to input. Swifty, any last words on Ryan Reynolds?
Release the Reynolds cut. Deadpool 3. That's all I have to say.
Release the Reynolds cut of Green Lantern. That's the real best casting right there. Is
No,
Green
release the Reynolds cut of Just Friends.
Release the Reynolds cut of Van Wilder.
Oh my god, that's such a funny movie. How about next up? Can we release the cut of what Marvel's third pick is?
No.
Okay, so my list, like, I don't really have it set. Like, it's more just random picks. So I'm going to go with also another Superman actor, Christopher Reeve, as Superman. Like, to me, he just...
I feel left out. I should have picked Brandon Routh now.
But yeah, I mean, we talk about embodying a character. Like, to me, Christopher Reeve is Superman, and nothing will ever change it, no matter who else gets casted. I do really like Henry Cavill, and I do like Brandon Routh, but like to me,
yeah, Brandon Routh's good.
Christopher Reeve is Superman.
You will hear more about my opinions on Christopher Reeve, but I can't speak on it right now.
All right.
Okay, then don't bring it up.
All right, bitch, get out of the podcast. No,
My fault, Jit.
Kid, you guys tell we have so much fun on this podcast.
Christopher Reeve, as much as I think that Henry Cavill is the best Superman, I think Christopher Reeves is the definitive Superman.
Yeah.
Wait, why do you think he's the best Superman? He's not even... I'm sorry. I mean, he's in my top 3 for casting purposes, but I don't think he's even... He hasn't shown that with the material, I'm saying. I agree. He's my second favorite Superman. Like, the actor playing Superman. But I can't say that he's my favorite.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't really... I mean, he was really good in... I love Man of Steel.
Me too.
Like, I know you guys probably have mixed opinions on Man of Steel, but I personally, I love Man of Steel.
For the most part, I really like it. But, I mean, there's some spots I don't like.
Yeah.
Really don't like. But the movie as a whole, I thoroughly enjoy. Like, I like to rewatch that movie. It's very rewatchable for me, anyway. But...
Yeah, but I don't know. Just something about Christopher Reeve's performance in...
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, his performance in Batman vs Superman was like he was a good performance, but the script was terrible.
Right.
But when it comes to Man of Steel, that actually was a good script. Like I feel like he nailed Superman in that, and even Zack Snyder's Justice League, his version of Superman was pretty. So I feel like with Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's Justice League, and just forgetting BVS even exists, that makes him my favorite, my personal favorite Superman. But however, I do see why Christopher Reeves is so loved, because Christopher Reeves is Superman. Like that,
Yeah,
he's the definitive Superman.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
Because it's like I get the most enjoyment out of watching Henry Cavill play Superman.
yeah,
But I
I know what
can't
you mean.
deny that Christopher Reeves is not that character.
Right.
Like, he is literally the embodiment of what Superman should be, not only on screen but also just as a person
He
too.
lost his body in the 2000s.
Um, yeah, anything else you want to add, Marvel?
Uh, Go watch Superman 1 and 2, both cuts.
Yes.
Don't watch Superman 3 or
Yeah.
Superman 4.
No. Unless you want
Anyway,
some amusement.
Superman 3 is a pretty good movie. I mean,
Superman 3 is fucking terrible.
Are you out of your depth?
yeah, it's funny. It's a funny
yeah.
movie. It's like The Room, even though I think The Room is a better film.
All right, moving on.
Swifty, second pick.
Okay, my second pick is going to be Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Wait, no, that's wrong. Tobey Maguire in Seabiscuit. My bad.
Yeah, of course.
No, so his role as Spider-Man, I mean, look, him as Spider-Man basically defined my childhood. And when I left my childhood, he still defined the character for me, because when I got into reading comic books when I was 8 or 9, he was who I thought of when I read comic books. He's just the most incredible casting for that character. Each different version of Spider-Man that we've gotten since then has had different attributes from different eras of the comic books. But I think Tobey is the most true to every era of who Spider-Man is. He embodies Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He has the duality down perfectly. And I mean, really, the Raimi trilogy is one of the best superhero trilogies. It's in my top 3, probably, and if not 3, 5. Um, I just think Tobey just became Spider-Man. I can't watch anybody else without comparing them to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Just the way he words things, it's just incredible when I watch him. I don't, I don't see Tobey as Tobey sometimes. I see Tobey as Spider-Man. Even when I watch interviews with him, I see him as Peter Parker. It's like, that's how defining his role was. I mean, talk about defining a genre, defining a character. Tobey Maguire did that for me.
Yeah.
So he's my number 2 pick. Just perfect.
Yeah, no. I mean, he really did an amazing job. Despite all the shit people give him, like, he really did do an incredible job. And Spider-Man 2 is a perfect example of him flexing his acting chops with that character.
And nobody gave him shit until, I think, Tom Holland came out as Spider-Man, really. Like, well, this is the definitive, like, this is the most truest to the comics. And it's like, you watch Spider-Man 2 and you think back and you're like, this is literally the most incredible comic accurate movie that you could watch. Like, it's perfect, that movie.
Yeah. I mean, those movies, like the Sam Raimi trilogy, are basically like they're representations of like 60s comic book like type shit. And it does that effectively well. And
absolutely.
But yeah, Tobey, like he is incredible. As that character, and I'm so glad they brought him back for No Way Home.
Me too. I was tearing up in the theater. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Altered thoughts on Tobey?
Well, I mean, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, I look at the same way as Christopher Reeves as Superman. because
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield is my personal favorite Spider-Man, but
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one captures the essence of Spider-Man in the comics more than Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And I do have a problem with that trilogy. I don't think it's a perfect trilogy by any means, but
Yeah.
I definitely, I'm trying to think of how to word this, but like he just embodied the character more than any of the actors. Even though I do feel like Andrew Garfield has more passion behind it, I do feel like that Tobey Maguire he is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's kind of who he's just come to be known as.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure more people know Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man than what The Big Lebowski. I don't freaking know. What movie was he in? That's a wrong movie.
The Great
I really
Gatsby.
just I said The Big Lebowski. Oh, I'm retarded. Oh, shut up. Cut that
Hello.
out. Cut that out. Cut that. And do you think Tobey Maguire is going to be known for The Great Gatsby? Because he's not. He's going to be known for being Spider-Man. And I mean, he was a damn good Spider-Man. So I mean, I'm pretty much just rambling at this point. But pretty much, yeah, I do agree that I think Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is the most iconic Spider-Man. Like he is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
As much as he's not my favorite, he definitely just is Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there are definitely things to like about the other actors, like with Tom and Andrew particularly. But when I think of Spider-Man, I think of Toby.
Me
And
too.
Yeah.
most of that might be nostalgia bias, but at the same time, like, he really did a great job in those movies. Like
He
I
did.
mentioned, Spider-Man 2. Fucking fantastic performance in that.
Yeah.
I grew up in a weird middle stage where I had both the Raimi trilogy and the Amazing Spider-Man films.
Yeah. I did too. Like I grew up. I was not even. I was 9 years old when Amazing Spider-Man came out, so I was like just starting to grow up. Um, kind of thinking for myself more. So I grew up with the Amazing Spider-Man movies coming out, but when I was younger, Spider-Man 3, that was always on the TV because 2007 I was 4. So that was like what was
You know what's
always
weird? When I
on.
was a kid, they never aired Spider-Man 2. It was always Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I know. 2 was never really on, at least for me either.
It is nowadays, but back in the day, it was not.
Well, 2 was the one I saw last. And that I think that was the
Yeah, same thing.
that was the greatest part for me
I
too. Is
saw the first one first, and
okay.
then my brother showed me the third one, and then I never watched the second one until I was much older.
So for me growing up, I saw the third movie first, and what that did for me was it gave me a unique experience on that trilogy because it was like growing up, I thought that was everything that Spider-Man was in those movies. Like, oh well, this is the definitive, you know, the arc of the character. This is what I'm watching. But then I saw Spider-Man 1, and I'm like, Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 1 are super different, and this first one's better. Like, this is a better movie. Because I thought Spider-Man 3 was really good because that's all I had seen. And then I saw 1 and I was like, well, I wonder what's in between these. And 2 is just perfect. It connects the dots perfectly. And it's also a perfect representation of the character. And when I saw 2, I was like, this is Toby is this is everything I wanted. That's the thing about that trilogy is 3 has a lot of flaws, but the first 2 movies um just are so cohesive with each other. And the third one is too. It's just it falls apart towards the middle section. But yeah,
Yeah.
Toby is go.
Yeah, Toby is fantastic. So, any other thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, release the Maguire cut.
No, I mean he just explained it all perfectly.
Okay. Alter, second choice.
Listen, I've been thinking about this so goddamn hard, and honestly,
I think I know
I'm
what
gonna
he's going to say.
probably take a big shot in the dark here. But I think Robert Pattinson as Batman is a
I
perfect
knew
casting
it.
choice.
I knew it. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I knew you were going to put him at least in either second place or first
Now,
place.
hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm hearing.
Hear me out. Batman is my favorite character in all of fiction. I'm sure you guys probably knew that.
I agree. It's mine too.
But here's the thing. We've never had a definitive Batman on screen besides like Kevin Conroy.
Also, I agree with that.
So whenever the Batman came out, or was like they were hyping up the Batman in like 2019, first revealed it, I was so hyped that we finally got to see the character that I've been reading my entire life finally portrayed how he was meant to be portrayed.
Yeah.
And just the hype from that film and for the film to come out and just be an absolute masterpiece.
It only
And it's
took
my
us.
personal favorite film of all time.
It only took us 33 years to get here, guys, but we got here. And if you want to go back to
Not even
66,
that, dog.
it took
Like
us longer than that.
we're going back to 1941, dog.
Oh my God, it took us that long.
With the first
Can you
Batman
imagine all
serial,
the
they didn't
people?
even nail Batman in those.
Only
All
the
the
real
people
ones
that
remember the
died.
Batman serials.
All the people that died, I feel bad for. They were because they were all anticipating like, oh, it'll be the next one. It'll be the next one. We'll get the definitive. Oh, it'll be the next one. Then they die, and it's like that. Then it's like 40 years after they died, and it's like we finally got it. You can rest now. It's like the ending of Endgame.
Yeah.
You can rest now, Tony. You can rest.
You think the original Batman actor, while he was playing the character, is like, one day this guy named Robert Pattinson is going to take my role, and he's going to be the greatest version of this character.
Well, see, that's the thing.
He pulls like a DCAU Bruce Wayne. He makes Robert Pattinson his Terry McGinnis.
Oh my God, he'd literally be dead now. He was like 80 when he played
That's
Batman in 1941.
That's such a dumb character arc, by the way. That Terry McGinnis is pretty much Bruce Wayne's son.
I hated that.
Whatever. That's
effing
for a
hated
different
that.
podcast.
Yeah, that's different podcast. But
pretty much, Robert Pattinson just nails everything about Batman. You can tell that he's having the most like just the time of his life. You can tell he relates to that character. I'm not gonna say him himself has been through those struggles, but you can tell that he relates to Batman in a way.
well, that's the
Same
thing
way that
about
the
Batman
audience does.
and Spider-Man. It's like both those characters. For me, it's more so Batman. You can relate to them even if you don't have millions of dollars or your parents weren't shot. There's aspects of the characters that you just relate to, and
Jokes on you, I do have millions of dollars, and my parents are actually shot.
oh my God, you're Batman. I agree with you though. I think Robert
Vengeance.
is
No,
the most comic accurate and the best iteration of Bruce Wayne and Batman. And the reason I say Bruce Wayne too is because he was portrayed exactly how he should have been portrayed in this movie, and he did it perfect.
the only downside to him portraying Bruce Wayne is we didn't really get to see the playboy aspect of him. But you don't need
That's what
that
I'm saying.
because that's mostly just
We
a
don't need
facade
for
that Bruce Wayne puts on.
Yeah.
But that's the issue I see a lot of people saying. But it's like my argument would be it's not supposed to be that yet. We are going to get that in the sequels, but the first movie is. That's why I think it's the perfect iteration of Bruce Wayne because of how true it is to what they're trying to accomplish. It's not just shoehorning Playboy Bruce Wayne in there, because he's not ready.
I feel
he's not
like
ready to do that yet. He's not ready for it, and he doesn't know how to do it.
I feel like a majority of people are going to agree with me once the franchise is more fleshed out. Once we have a couple more movies or a TV show out,
Yeah.
I feel like more people will agree with me that Robert Pattinson is just the definitive Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people already agree with that, but
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, or not to say Ben Affleck, I meant Robert
Yep.
Pattinson. Shut up. Ben
Wow.
Affleck sucks. I'll say it right now. Ben Affleck is a terrible Batman. Hate him.
Well,
The passion.
I think the material he was given was the worst.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure if he was given a better script, he might have been. Well, still, he had some big shoes to fill with Bale, but because Bale's like a close second for Batman.
Not to
Yeah, I was
mention
gonna say-
too, like all the choices made for that particular version didn't work because
No.
I mean we just met him, so
Right.
it just it was really it was strange.
Yeah, at least we're actually
Just random
see the
ass
thing I like
movie
about
ever.
the Batman. The thing I like about the Batman is the fact that this is probably the first film where we actually get to have a film about Bruce Wayne as a character.
Right. That's the
Because
great
a lot
thing.
of Batman films are just here's the villain, here's how cool the villain is. Now have Batman fight them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like we never really got the
And they
whole
tried to do
deep
it with
dive into
Forever.
Bruce Wayne's psychology before,
They tried
and
to
this
do it
film
in Forever,
absolutely
and it didn't
nailed it.
work because of what they did with the
Well,
original.
they tried to do it forever, and then there was a lot of studio interference.
Right.
They did it a little bit in Batman Begins, and then I think they wanted to do it with I think Zack Snyder kind of wanted to do that, but Zack Snyder's terrible. So
Yeah, I agree.
I think the only other film besides like the Batman that really had a deep dive was Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Well, that's a better deep dive anyway. That's the definitive deep dive, in my opinion, of Bruce Wayne.
again, same. Okay, I'm gonna say the same thing I said with Tobey Maguire and Henry Cavill. Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson is my favorite Batman.
Yeah. As you're
God.
dying of weed ingestion.
Robert Pattinson is my favorite Batman. But Kevin Conroy is the definitive Batman.
yeah.
And for a while, Kevin Conroy was my favorite, but I don't know. There's something about Robert Pattinson's Batman and just the way he portrays that character that just connects with me personally.
Yeah.
There's something very
And overall, I
intriguing
think
about Robert Pattinson's version, especially this early one.
Yeah. I agree.
Anyway, point is, Robert Pattinson is the perfect Batman. I could not ask for a better Batman. And I'm sure that this will be probably the definitive version of the character for like a whole generation.
Yeah. Totally agree with you.
And that's my number 2 pick.
Okay.
Doesn't compare to Morbius, but it's definitely up there.
Fucking.
It's not as good as the rumor Morbius, but I'm saying it's top 5.
What about you, Marvel?
Okay, so for my next choice, I'm gonna go with since I went DC last time, I guess it would be fitting to go Marvel for this one. So I'm gonna say Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Ooh, that's a great
I'm glad
pick.
someone said it, because if not, I was going to say it.
That is a great pick.
Just like with Christopher Reeve, no one else will ever play Wolverine to that caliber again.
No.
It's the same thing to like Ryan Reynolds. Like Ryan Reynolds, he is the definitive Deadpool. Like no one else will ever be able to play Deadpool.
Yeah, it's
like
like
the same thing with Hugh Jackman and
I
Wolverine.
can't see someone else being Wolverine. Like I just can't imagine it.
It's the same thing with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Like you can't see anyone else playing Deadpool.
Right.
Same thing with Wolverine.
Right. And it's only with certain characters. Like Batman can switch all the time because there's room for different interpretations. But it's just weird. Like
same thing with Superman.
You can do it with a lot of characters, but Wolverine you can't do it with. At least the way he's perfect, man. He's just perfect.
Part of that I feel is because we were with him for almost 20 years of movies.
Yeah.
Like we'd grown so attached to him.
And we had one of the best comic book movies ever with him, that being Days of Future Past.
And Logan.
Yes, Logan is better than Days of Future Past.
I was going to say that's the one you're going with. Sure. Like even
Days of Future Past is a great film too.
It is. I do really enjoy it. But yeah, I was going to say even at like the franchise's worst, he was still the best thing about it.
Yeah.
Even if I talked a lot of crap about X-Men Origins Wolverine earlier, but I mean, he still looks really cool in that film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like with Henry Cavill, he makes the best out of a bad situation.
Right.
One of the most underrated, comic book films of all time, in my opinion, is The Wolverine.
I
Oh
do
yeah,
really
very
enjoy the
underrated
Wolverine.
movie. It is very underrated. I don't hear anybody talking about that movie. Remember
I
when it came
know,
out, it was
and it's
hype
so
as
like I don't know what
hell.
it is, just the vibe, and the aesthetic of that movie is just beautiful.
Yes.
And Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine in that is just as top tier as always. Silver Samurai was a cool twist at the end.
It was interesting. But yeah,
I still love that movie.
but yeah, I mean the MCU. I mean we're gonna get a new Wolverine at some point or another. Like they're gonna recast
Oh
Logan. I know so many
no.
people are
I know they're.
like, so many people are like they're
I
like,
know that they're going to.
yeah,
Like I know that they're going to, but I can't see anyone else playing Wolverine. I just can't.
yeah, yeah. Like I look at all the choices that have been presented so far, and I'm just like, no, like that doesn't work at all. There's only one man for the job, and he's retired from that
Yeah.
role.
It's the same thing with like Ryan Reynolds though. Like I think Wolverine and Deadpool are in the same situation where there's only really one person who can play them.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing with like Charles Xavier, which I don't know if any of you guys have that on your list, but
I didn't have it on my list, but that
I
is
don't have it on
that's
mine.
a good pick too.
It is. I can't see anybody else
it's not on my
playing
list. But I'm just throwing
Charles
it out there.
Xavier either.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, we'll do. Actually, no, we'll do. Like we'll do some more honorable mentions at the end. Like we'll name drop some other people. But anyway,
Yeah.
just say nothing. All right. Um,
I mean, what else? What else are we gonna say? Like it's a good pick. It's
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It's the most iconic version of the character.
yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll just move on from that. Like,
Right.
Swifty number one choice.
Guys, my number one choice for the greatest comic book casting of all time.
Jared Leto was Morbius.
Yup. No. Christopher Reeve as Superman.
You could have just thought of a different one.
No, because we have him in different places. We have him in different spots. But like this is
Oh, I'm doing mine.
unchanging. No, this is unchanging. Christopher Reeve is the greatest comic book casting of all time, and I think that there will ever be. Is when you think of Superman, you think of Chris Reeve, and it's just a plus that he was just as good a guy in real life as he's portrayed in the movies. But talk about defining a generation of people, like, and other generations. My parents love Chris Reeve Superman. I love Chris Reeve Superman. My kids are gonna love Chris Reeve Superman because I'm bringing them up on that shit. None of that Zack Snyder's shit. Um, like he defined so many generations, and I can't think of anyone else as iconic as Superman. When you think of iconic superheroes, you think of Superman and you think of Chris Reeve. Um, and I don't think there will ever be another casting of comic book hero that will come to the caliber that Chris Reeve did. He's just absolutely perfect, and I could praise him all day for how incredible he was. But that is my number one pick is Chris Reeve as Superman.
Alter your third choice.
Yeah, there's nothing to add.
We already said what we needed to say, so.
I mean, yeah. I'm just I'm trying to think of who. There's two on my mind right now, and I don't know which one I should bring up.
Well, we're
I'm gonna
gonna do
go ahead and
honorable
bring up the one
mentions.
we probably have the most to say about. Yeah, I'm gonna bring up the one we probably have the most to say about. Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're talking about superheroes, aren't we?
Well, it doesn't matter. Like, it just.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I would have put Heath
It was
Ledger's
comic
Joker on here.
book
I thought
movie
it was. I
cast.
thought it
Well,
was just superheroes.
too bad. We're talking about it now.
Son of a bitch.
But
I was
anyway.
surprised you didn't bring it up. I was concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite performance in any comic book movie. So I'm. Wow.
It's one of the
I'm glad
best
you brought it up.
performances in film. Period.
Yeah.
It's up
I
there with
agree.
Tommy Wiseau as Johnny.
Yeah. Absolutely, it is.
No, but for real though, like that is Joker.
Yeah.
As many actors who are probably going to come after him to play Joker in film, without a doubt, no one's going to top him.
No.
Yeah, no. Like,
Never.
There have been some great Jokers though, like Joaquin Phoenix was great, and I'm sure Homeboy and the Batman might be good, but
Homeboy
nothing is going to beat Heath Ledger.
Yeah, like, I fucking love Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Me too.
But,
phenomenal.
like, when I think of Joker, it is Heath Ledger. Because he nails.
Like it's another one of those
every
things of like
aspect of that
Heath Ledger
character.
made the character. In a way,
Yeah.
Heath Ledger kind of influenced how the Joker is as a character today. When you ask any Joker
did.
actor, voice actor, or any of the future ones, they all were going to credit Heath Ledger as their main inspiration behind how they want to play the role. And when it comes to how writers and comics will write the Joker nowadays, they will always use the Dark Knight and Heath Ledger's performance as a key inspiration of how they write the character. So,
Right.
in a way, Joker nowadays would not necessarily be the same without Heath Ledger's performance.
And I think what attests.
And I think that's what truly makes a great. That's truly what makes a great performance is how they can elevate a character's legacy.
Yeah. I think one of the other things that makes him.
Which you
so
could really say
incredible-
about anyone on this list, but especially for Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think one of the things that makes him so incredible was his dedication to making that role so perfect. Because it's a once in a while thing where you get an actor and a director who have the exact same vision of what they want creatively in a film. And both Heath and Christopher Nolan had the same exact vision. And they knew exactly what they wanted to bring to the table. And it always makes me very sad to know that Heath didn't get to see the success and the incredible work that he did on screen. He didn't get to accept his Oscar. And he also didn't get to return to that role because, I mean, there's no doubt in saying that that's his
That's
most
originally
iconic
what
role.
Dark Knight Rises was going to be.
Yeah. Which would have been incredible.
The original version of The Dark Knight Rises would have just been Joker coming back to work with the League of Assassins, kind of tie up the first two films.
Yeah. And I would have enjoyed it.
It would have been way better than Tom Hardy's Bane.
Yeah, and I love Tom Hardy's Bane, but like, there's nothing to
Yeah, I
compare
thought
to
he was
what we
great,
would have
but-
got. Because Heath just
Exactly.
elevates everything that's in the Dark Knight and makes it like 10 times better. Like, the Dark Knight's
That
genuine.
film would not be as loved if it wasn't for Heath Ledger. That film would not be as remembered and loved.
No, because I mean, really, the movie is a very simple plot, and that's okay. I'm not saying that's bad, but he makes a very simple plot so complicated because of how chaotic his character is, and how he sells you on how chaotic his character is.
He just is Joker.
Yeah, and I think just his overall mindset of going into that character was just absolutely incredible, and so that itself is worthy of praise of how seriously he took it.
Yeah. He not only managed
that was a big passion project of his.
Yeah.
Wasn't it, to play Joker?
Well, originally he wasn't going to do
That was
it.
like in the back of his mind for like his whole acting career.
Well, originally he wasn't going to do it because he wasn't sure. He had wanted to stay away from big blockbuster films, but he knew it was Chris, and he saw the world that Batman Begins had, and he said, "You know what? I'll do it." And that was the start of like one of the coolest collaborations that only lasted one film, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But there's without a doubt, if Heath had lived, he would have been in way more Christopher Nolan movies after that.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
There would have been constant
He probably would have
collaboration.
been in way more Batman movies.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, he definitely would have been in Rises, but I think also that makes his
I mean, there
performance so
there were
special
also
because
plans to
we
make
only got
like
him once.
other Dark Knight films after Rises.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah, that's what makes it so special too, is that we only got him for one, and unfortunately he's not here anymore, but we got him, and that's what makes it so special. Makes you cherish that movie a little bit
Uh,
more.
I really look at this with like a lot of things. Like I can look at like some like musicians this way, but you never really got to see their true potential of what they could have done with the character or with their craft
Yeah.
because they it was just one film before he passed away.
Well, I do think people forget that Heath had a very interesting filmography, and he has a lot of great performances. Um, and yeah, I mean, if he had lived longer, he would have been in even more incredible movies and would have gone down as potentially the best actor of his generation. Um, but he didn't live to see that. But I would encourage you to go watch some more of his movies,
Yeah.
like Candy, Four
I've
Feathers.
seen A
Like
Knight's
those
Tale,
are
but that's
two of the
about
best
it.
ones. Oh no, dude, he's so much more than that. That's a good movie, but I would watch Candy, The Four Feathers, Lords of Dogtown. Obviously, Brokeback Mountain is one of his iconic roles, but it's iconic for a good reason. But he doesn't have a large filmography, but there's some my one of my favorites being Ned Kelly. That's a great movie. But yeah, Heath Ledger was incredible. I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought him up because I had no idea we were talking about villains and heroes, but I'm glad you brought him up because I would have put him in my third place. Fuck Henry Cavill. No, I'm just kidding. I love Henry.
I mean, we can
But
mention more like villain castings when we get to honorable mentions, but yeah,
sure.
like even with what we got,
I mean, I
like
brought up Deadpool very first.
Yeah, but
yeah.
he's more of an anti-hero. So I was like, well,
I mean, he technically started out as a villain, so
he did. Damn me.
but yeah,
You bitch.
Heath was fantastic. Like, not only did he do something new and different with that character, but he also paid a lot of respect to what the Joker is. And I mean, that film is a testament to how good his acting was because he won an Oscar for a comic book film, which is, I mean, nowadays
After he
still
passed
kind of
away,
yeah, still kind of unheard of, but still that is a pretty huge
Well,
milestone for
well, he was the first to ever win an Oscar for a comic book movie, which is another thing. But also he's one of two people to win an Oscar for playing Joker.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the other one being Joaquin.
mhm. No, it was Jared Leto. Yes, it was
No,
Joaquin.
actually, it's Jared Leto. No, bro, Suicide Squad won a Grammy, or not? I almost said a Grammy.
A Grammy.
Suicide Squad won an Oscar.
Not for anything worthy.
Wasn't it for
They
like
won
just,
it for makeup design.
I was just gonna say
Had to give
Wow.
it to them. They won an Oscar.
Wow. Yeah, Will Smith won an Oscar
The
too. He slapped
Oscar-winning
somebody in the
film.
face.
This got to be the biggest flex of all time. How does he win Best Actor and humiliates the whole award show in the same?
Go check out our Oscar video if you want to hear more thoughts
Yeah,
about
please.
that.
I wasn't even in it.
I know. I know.
No,
Still
it was
watch
the
it
two
anyway.
original members. Yeah.
But so yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I feel like we've kind of said what we need to say about Heath, which is like he's fucking incredible. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
On to Marvel's pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, so my last pick. Usually, like, I like to go against the grain a little bit with these kind of lists. So I'm going to go with Ron Perlman as Hellboy.
I would agree with you.
Okay.
He is the most iconic version of that character.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when
Yeah,
they changed
he's
that.
typically
I
what I think
hated
of
it.
when I think of Hellboy.
Yeah, like it's like if we're talking about perfect translations of comic book characters, like he is one of the best.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, like they nailed everything with that character, and it's a shame we never got Hellboy 3. We got that god awful reboot, which fuck.
It's even more of a shame that we got the 2019 movie.
Yeah.
Let's not
I
talk
still
about
enjoyed
those
that
films.
film, but nothing's gonna beat Ron Perlman.
No. Yeah, like not only is he perfect on camera, but like he was perfect in the animated movies they did too around that time. And even in the game, they did the Hellboy game when the second movie was released. He was
He
fucking
is
fantastic in that.
he's the definitive he's he's the definitive Hellboy. Like I pretty much we say this about like every actor. Period. When you think of Hellboy, you think of Ron Perlman, and especially since he went on to voice him in the animated films and in the game.
Yeah. So yeah, fantastic. So I feel like we should just move on to honorable mentions because I doubt we have anything else to say about Ron Perlman. So
No, I mean there's not really much else you can say that's not just repeating what we said about everyone else.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some other names that we didn't have on our list, but you'd like to mention?
The entire Watchmen cast.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
No, but I was gonna say Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
That's good. Yeah.
That's a good one.
I mean, I wish she got better material, especially for films like Suicide Squad and even Birds of Prey. But like, yeah, she is really great in that role.
She's pretty much DC's version of how I would describe Wolverine and Deadpool, where it's you can't really think of any other person. At least I personally can't think of anyone else playing the character in live action.
Yeah. What about you, Swifty? Honorable mentions?
Well, we already said Heath Ledger, but I would have said him. But
Professor Xavier.
Yeah, probably Professor Xavier. I
Yeah.
can't think of. I don't want to think of anyone else playing him, and I'm so glad that we got him in Multiverse of Madness. I was so happy to see him. Only to I don't even want to talk about what happened. It'll just get me mad. But yeah,
As much as I was pissed off they killed him, bro, that scene was so wild. I loved it.
it was wild for sure, but it makes no fucking sense. Like
They're probably gonna bring him back though. Let's be real.
yeah, they will. But what the fuck? They shouldn't have even brought them in. That see them being in the movie served literally no point for that movie. This is another conversation for another episode. This is my anger towards Multiverse of Man. But no, I was glad they put him in. At least, I mean, I was glad I got to see him again. And in the yellow chair. Woo.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
floating.
Yeah.
way better than McAvoy.
McAvoy's great though.
I
He's
really
great as
like
the young one.
McAvoy, but Stewart
So do
is
I.
just on a different
No,
level.
Stewart is Xavier. You can replace McAvoy with anybody young. That's the thing. You can't replace Patrick Stewart.
You just got to be bald. That's all I'm saying.
I guess since we're mentioning people who we feel like it's hard to recast, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Like, I mean, he took that character and made him interesting.
While we're at it, I guess the same thing could be said about Chris Evans with Captain America.
Yeah.
That's really, really anyone from that Phase 1 Avengers.
Yeah, well...
Anyone from that original team you can't really replace, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, but for those particular characters, like, they... You know, they gave him actual character that, you know, we can actually relate to and enjoy. And I mean, with Robert Downey Jr.'s case, like, what he did with that character is basically what Iron Man is now. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's something.
Which is both a good and bad thing, but I can talk about how much I hate how Marvel just changes the comics to be more like the MCU, but...
Yeah, that is definitely a topic for another time.
We were talking about that the other day, yeah.
But, any other thoughts before we close out of here?
I guess that's everything.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that.
All right, so that's going to be it for this episode of the podcast.
And leave in the comments below your casting choices.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll leave your posts down below, and we'll have a fun discussion in the comments. So, any of you guys want to tell them what you're up to for projects and whatnot?
I got hella videos in the works, hella live streams, hella music. It's a vibe. Check me out.
Yeah, I got music coming soon. Second album's coming out. Bringing some singles, or a single. And I'm going to be working on some YouTube videos, live streams too. So, yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, basically the same here. Just going to pump out whatever I can and get some work done on a lot of shit. So stay tuned for that.
So check out the Iron Man video.
Yes, of course. Check out the Iron Man video.
It was a really good video.
If you don't watch it, I'm going to be really sad and probably block you on Twitter.
He's going to find your IP address and hunt you down.
But anyway, have a great night. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to take care of yourselves. See ya.